Okay, guys, we're live from the roasting shack, and I am making sure that we can see everything that needs to be seen on the video. Looks like we can. Maybe a little lower. Hopefully you can hear me. There's going to be a lot of background. There we go. Wow. Just the daily roast. That's all that's happening here. So if you want to ask me questions, I'm not evaluating the comments at all. So just put your questions in Telegram. I'll see them on my other device, but I don't know. I'm just doing this roast because I wanted another roaster to see how I roast, and they were like, just live stream it and I'll see it later. So right now, I am going to do a Brazil, and I need to decide if it's Brazil medium or Brazil, well, let's see. Brazil medium or Brazil dark? That is the question. Dark, medium, medium. I don't need a Brazil dark. I don't need a Brazil medium. Don't need a Colombia medium. Don't need a Colombia medium. So we're going to do Brazil dark. That's our first roast of today's thing. Hopefully my actual mic is working. Otherwise, you're just getting a whole bunch of clanky, clank, clank, clank going on there. So, if anybody's here and you can hop over to the Telegram group, just let them know we're live if people want to watch roasting, but it's like literally just going to be roasting. Maybe wondering what all this flotsam and jetsam is in the background. My trusty bean scoop. So, I have a lot of orders for Hollow Roast Dark, and Hollow Roast Dark is our signature bean at hollowroast.com. I totally would have live streamed this on the Hollow Roast YouTube channel, but I only have 30 followers there, and so I'm not allowed to live stream. So if you want to help me get to 1,000 followers, go over to Hollow Roast. It's at Hollow Roast, HOLLERROAST, on YouTube, and become a subscriber, and then maybe we could do this from the actual coffee area. So right now I'm just pouring the beans in. It's super loud. Woo, super dusty. If you look in the video, you can't really see them until I turn the fan up. So I'm turning up the fan. And then we get our beans, and then the first thing I do is the drying phase. So that's what we're doing right now. And then, as you can see, once they start drying, which is almost immediately, they hop up a bit. Yep. And our next roast will be Colombia Dark, so I might as well just get that going too. The question is, how much Hollow Roast Dark do I already have? Oh, I have 4 pounds, maybe 5, and no Colombia Dark. So, I'll just get my Colombia Dark queued up. Part of the fun of the roast, right? Colombia Dark actually is the hardest one to roast because these beans are so dang dense. Now, what I just heard happen is that drying has really taken off. I'm going to end up turning this down to 45 and see. Yeah, that's better. I'm curious, guys, like, how's the background noise? I'm wondering. Again, if you want to ask me questions, t.me/LFTN group. That's LFTN for Living Free in Tennessee. It's our Telegram group. I'll actually see that, and I won't see the YouTube comments because they're too small. And I'm concentrating on roasting, so I have a second device up. It'd be really cool if I had like a producer in here. Hear me scooping the beans. I'm getting the beans queued up for the Colombia. And then, sometimes some coffee beans don't make it out of my cooling table, and then I just compost them. So I'm going to throw these in the compost bin so we don't have any mixy-mix problems. And that is that. You can just talk to each other, though, if you want to, all 2 of you who are watching. So at this point, I'm near 200 degrees. I'm taking it up to 200 on my roaster. to dry the beans. So I'll turn this down to 45%. And look at the speed of the beans. I want them to turn it down to 40 on the air. And then we just go from there. I'm going to let them dry for about 2 minutes. So while I'm doing that, I usually write down what I'm doing on my dry erase board so I know that just in case I forget, I'm roasting a Brazil dark. And I have a Colombia dark queued up. So I'm going to look at my roasting schedule and see what else we got to roast today. So this will take care. I've got 13 pounds of hollow roast dark and 1 pound of hollow roast of Colombia. That's important. I got an Ethiopian medium to do. Don Claudio, Costa Rica, Siegler. That's going to be a fun one to do. I wonder if I have enough beans for that. We're getting really low on the Costa Rica, and the funny thing about that is that there's going to be this moment where I have to hopefully beat y'all from ordering it. So we'll do a Costa Rica Siegler. 1 pound. That. Brazil dark. Colombia dark. And then I need Rwanda. No Rwanda today. No Renegade Rwanda. Okay. We're good to go. So it's probably been about 1 minute on those beans. I'm drying them for 2. The reason you dry the beans is that different beans may have taken on different levels of humidity or whatever while they're in storage. And when I roast the beans, I want it to be consistent. So what I do is I bring them up on my roaster to 200 degrees. I used to bring them up to 300 on my other roaster, but based on how the probe is on this, I think that the temperature that reads on my roaster is different than the actual temperature the beans are. Like the way they roast is as if 200 is 300. And then I reduce the heat to 45 degrees and 45% on my elements. And it still creeps up. You can see it's creeping up a little bit during the drying phase, but not bad. If I just leave it on the drying phase until the end of time, it will eventually start going up in temperature. And you can actually burn the beans this way. It's kind of like if you bake cookies at 100 degrees or 150 degrees instead of 250 or 350 or whatever I guess it's 350 usually for 350 to 400 in your oven. They will eventually cook. So the way I have my roasting shack set up is that the cooling table just has a fan that's ducted in that sucks the air through this metal screen, and that pulls the cold air through the beans to cool them. So I'm going to say we're probably at about 2 minutes. Because it's a Brazil, for my roaster, I turn up the elements to 65 degrees. What I'm looking to achieve here is an increase of 1 degree every 2 seconds or so. And it may go faster than that. So right now it's 1 degree every 3 seconds, but that's okay because we're just starting. What I don't want it to do is go too fast, because then we don't develop the deep chocolate, and I'm all about the deep chocolate. That's what I do. So right now we're at about 1 degree every 2 seconds. Now it's going a little faster than I want. We'll give it a second. Yep. It's going to turn the fan down. I'm going to turn that down to 60. So now, just so I don't forget, I'm gonna turn on my exhaust fan. Oof, gets even louder in here. So now it's a little slower than I want, so I go up to 70% and give it a few seconds. And usually while that's happening, I package other coffee I've already roasted. Woo! You can hear the beautiful sound of the scoopity scoop. Now this raising temperature doesn't have to be like super exact all the time. It's more of a shape than a precise thing. Now we just went up to 80. Drying off phase is done. We're in the Maillard reaction. Maillard, M-A-L-L-A-I-R-D reaction. We're actually caramelizing these puppies. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. And then we're 30% on the air. We just totally deep clean the inside, like where the electronics are of the roaster. And what happens over time is as much as I try to keep the coffee chaff out of there, sometimes some gets in even through the screen, and it gets this little buildup in there. So a couple times a year, pull it apart, clean it out. And when that happens, the fan behaves as if it's stronger. It moves more beans. It's not really what's happening. What's happening is more air can get in, so the fan can go. Now, usually what happens at my roaster between 300 and 400 degrees is we'll keep that rise of about a degree every 2 seconds, sometimes a little faster at 80%. Near 350, we'll go to 90% to keep it going. And when I hit 390, I go 100% to finish the roast. And here's why. I want it to rise in temperature a little quicker at the end as we develop the sugars. Because the sugars are that, the better that I do on developing sugars, the less you're going to have the coffee bitter bite, which some people really like that. I don't. And this is Hollow Roast House, so it's what I like right now. And that's why we do it that way. So usually while I'm waiting between adjustments, I'll put coffee in bags. That's what you're hearing in the background. I'm weighing coffee. You can hear it probably hit. Maybe you can't. I don't know. Put it in bags, seal the bags, label the bags. It's all part of the fun. It's like the ultimate multitasking. It's really fun when I have 2 roasters going at one time, but today we're not doing that because my second roaster is, it's a Sono Fresco that I'm going to sell. If anybody wants to buy one, it does 2 pounds at a time. Has a computer that manages your roast cycle, counting the seconds. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. See? Feeling like we need to go up to 85, guys. So anyway, I have used that as my second roaster for a few years, and then this one, which does up to 14 pounds at a time. Usually I do about 10. And I've decided to get rid of it. I'm going to sell it. I dropped the roasting chamber, which is made out of glass, about a month ago, and it broke. And a replacement roasting chamber, last time I looked at the price, was about $250, and I was like, I actually have another second roaster that is being updated by the manufacturer, and it does 8 pounds at a time. And that roaster can come be my second roaster. I'll sell the Sono Fresco, and then we're good to go. So, I have not put it up for sale on the internet yet, but I will. And I think, like, the cool thing about the Sono Fresco is it's a little easier to manage if you're new to roasting. The less cool thing is, like, you are dependent on the computer to run the roast cycle, and it's not like you can set it or forget it. You still got to watch it, because depending on your external environment, you'll have different impacts. So if it's really hot outside, it'll roast faster. If it's really cold outside, it'll roast slower. And once you get the roast velocity, like the heat velocity of your roast, like if you have too much heat going in, ain't nothing you're going to do to stop that roast velocity. It's just going to roast faster. So then you got to watch when you stop it. I have found with air conditioning that I can get a pretty good balance with the Sono Fresco, like with climate control, but before I had climate control in here, it did not work as well. So we're going to go up to 90 now, 90% on the elements. I'm going to check Telegram for any questions. I don't see any yet. Of course, if you're new to my Telegram group, then you'll have to apply to get in, and you know, it's t.me.lftn group. I don't see any questions there, which is fine by me. So when the beans come out, they're over 500 degrees. It's going to say 4 something on mine. We're getting near the 90%. So we're getting close to the next phase of the coffee roast, and this is where we're doing the final caramelization of the sugars. This is like the finish time. And the way I know when to turn this up is I can smell it. Like I just smelled it right now, and I go to 100%. Now this is super handy that I can smell this, because if I'm across the room I can smell this, and if I don't do it the second it changes, it's okay. You want to do it within a few seconds though. So it takes me about 1 second to walk across the roasting deck, and I got my handy oven mitt here so I don't get burned. So now I don't usually stand here for this part. We're going for a dark roast. I'll probably end at about between 460 degrees, 465. It was 465 yesterday. There's about a 5-degree variation in what the finished roast is. And at this point, I'm balancing airflow, so there's not too much air going through. And I just want it to finish pretty much as fast as it'll finish. So what I'm seeing on the outside of the shack is not much smoke yet. So I'm going to listen for first crack, which should be getting close. That's where first crack started. First crack. First crack. Brazil beans. First crack. I'm seeing smoke come out of my exhaust. And I made such a big deal out of that because there's another roaster who kind of wants to see how I roast. So I don't have a little card that says first crack. I just had the first finger. It's the end of first crack. So now I'm between first crack and second crack. Smoke's coming out the exhaust. I can see the color is still pretty light. Smells delicious. And that's it. I actually couldn't hear when second half. We're about halfway through second crack right now. This is where I do my dark roast. And I get a big face full of smoke, and I pour it over here. And then they cool the beans. And then I start this. Making sure everything comes out. So this particular dark roast, whoa, drop. I should have stopped it probably at 460. It went to 465 really quickly. I have ranges on my roast. So this dark roast is on the darker side, but it's not quite over into an Italian roast or a Siegler roast. But dang, that was close. It's a good thing I got that done. Okay. So next we'll do a Colombia beans. And I could not hear second crack when it went. I just saw the smoke come out. Spill some beans. Sometimes the beans come out. Sometimes the beans come out. Okay, see, you can't see the beans. So we're going to bring it up to 50, 60. There we go. Heating the beans to dry the beans. Stirring the beans on the cooling table. While I'm doing that, I'm going to figure out what my next roast is. We have done the Brazil. We've got Colombia in Ethiopia. Ethiopia, where are you? Oh, you're in that pile of stuff, aren't you? No, wait, you're Honduras? Ethiopia is as far from me as it could possibly be. I'm going to roast 4 pounds of Ethiopia. I only need to ship 1 today. I keep my beans for up to 7 days. And then if they don't get ordered, that's what I drink in my house. So now, we're not up to 200 yet. My dry erase marker is not working very well. This Ethiopia medium is going to be next. Write it down on the dry erase board so I know. Got 1 weirdly unroasted bean. That one didn't roast. Oh, there's also beans in here that I'll dump in the compost. Okay, so bring that down to 45 again. 44 it is. And then in order to make room for the Colombia on the roasting table, I have got to get the Brazil off the roasting table. Oh, and in a really interesting turn of events, I don't know that I have a place to put it, so this is going to be fun. Well, where I'm going to put it. Guess who needs to buy more storage bins this week? So, it's okay, this is all getting packaged up today. So I just scoop it in there. I don't know if it'll take it all, but not really worried about a lid on this one because I'm going to use it all today. But I do need to dump the rest of this. Wah! Barely fit. It'd be really cool if I had handles on my drying table thing. So a few little beans left. Get those out of there. All right, we're ready for Colombia. Colombia, Colombia. Colombia's drying. Now I'm hoping to get this down 50. How does that work? 50 is the sweet spot, 50% on the fan. Good times. Good times. Whew. That was a really smoky little roast there. I have a feeling I need to clean my exhaust fan out because I does not clear the smoke out of here as much as I'd like. Okay, drying phase is done. This one I'm going to go up 70% on the elements. And I'm going to bag some Brazil. What do I need here? 2 pounds. Start with 2 pounds. Ooh, very careful. It's like a mountain of roasted beans. There we go. Bag number 1 is done. Wow, those are perfect. Bag number 2. I thought I had Siegler to roast today. Am I hallucinating? Let's look at the roasting. I have Siegler to roast, so I need 5 pounds of Siegler. That's going to be the last roast of the day. Cool. Good to know. So then, let's see how we're doing temperature-wise. It's time to go up. I don't actually usually talk while roasting. I usually blast punk music. Probably get a copyright violation on YouTube if I blasted punk music. Punk music. Might blast it if you guys stay so quiet. Just saying. I had every intention of roasting this coffee yesterday, and then it was 10 o'clock at night. And I had done a lot of stuff, but I decided not to go to the roasting shack at 10 p.m. Okay, I've got that done. Sweet. And that was whole bean, that was whole bean. This is the thing that really trips me up, is when people want it ground, I'll accidentally package whole bean. Like, there's a secret. I have on my list to bring a highlighter out here so I can highlight the ones that get ground, so I don't waste bags. But sometimes I waste bags. I suppose we're getting near. Yep. 1,000. 1,000, that's fine. Also, you don't have to ask me questions about roasting. You could just flip and ask me questions. It's fine. I just answer questions a lot. That's what I do for a living, I think. Answer questions. So roast coffee. Oh, that was almost exactly 16 ounces that I just poured out of the bucket. There we go. Sweet. So I need 8 of these. 1. It's going to be time to look again. Amazing how much more powerful this fan is since I did the deep clean of the fan. fun part is running the AC in here. It's nice. It'll keep me around 85 degrees today in the roasting shack. When I did not have air conditioning, it would get up above 120 in here. That was a hot summer of roasting. I would get up at 6 just to make it a little less bad. It was really freaking hot in here. It's way easier to roast in the winter without HVAC. I just ran a little propane heater in the morning to get it warm in here, and then it was like, the roaster's got this. The roaster's got this. It's like a giant oven in my roasting shack off in the corner there. I also exhaust a lot of air out, so like we're moving all the air out of here every 5 minutes or so. So that's always fun to keep up with the HVAC. So we're getting close. I haven't smelled the smell yet. I'm standing here to smell the smell. Starting to get that smell. It's about time to go full bore. Yep. See, that was right before 390 on my roaster. Drop the pen. At least I didn't drop the coffee. I'd have to throw it out. Okay. Now, I'm gonna get that one up definitely to 465. What I've noticed is the Brazil gets to full dark about 3 degrees before the Colombia does. And I think it's just, well, I think it's just a difference in density of the beans. The beans for the Colombia are a little more dense. Well, let's go see where we're at. It's not time to hover yet, but it is time to turn this fan down. Yeah, I'm listening for first crack. It smells so good. This one's developing a really nice smell. I'm just saying. You should use this one as your car air freshener bean. So I'm hearing the start of first crack. And then I probably won't hear second crack because the fan's so freaking loud. Now it's time for me to hover nearby. Get my little rake. My bean rake. Well, this is weird because this feels like it's getting near dark and it's way temperature-wise not supposed to be in my mind that it should be. So I'm going to take a look at it. Oh, come on. Yes, I did leave my flashlight on. Okay, I just saw the smoke pop up. Probably in second crack right now. Second crack. Stop. Boom. Out. Yeah. Perfect. Get the first batch on the cooling table so I get the smoke out of my face. Yeah, that's perfect. Looks great. Looks great. Okay, we're going to go on to Ethiopia medium. This one's going to go faster because it's only 4 pounds. I'm going to change the board. I'm going to use the green pen because the red pen ain't working. So this is Columbia Dark that I'm bagging, and Ethiopia Medium that I am roasting. And my next one is, so I'm going to do Siegler next. You see what happened here is I need to turn the fan down. I'll let it get over a bit over 200, that's okay for the dry phase. Turn the percentage way down. Wow, this is some dark beans is what these are. I'm going to say maybe I should have stopped this at 462. You wouldn't think 3 degrees, but it's still in the range of dark, but man, it's dark. Today we're getting dark darks. That means I don't take Siegler to 75, I'll tell you that. Bag while that dries. Every pound I can get in the bag is a win. 1, 2, 3. Look at Mr. Lee. 3, 4, 5. Look at him jive. Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee. Oh, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee. I don't know why that went through my head, but sometimes I do listen to 60s music here. Is that 60s or 50s? Don't know. Somebody look it up and tell me. I don't even know who it's by. I just know it was in the what's that movie that was in the 80s? This is dark. Stand By Me. It was in Stand By Me, I'm pretty sure. Was it in Stand By Me? Weird that I can remember that this many years later. It's been a number of years since it was in the 80s. It was what, 86 or so? Okay. Okay, we're ready to let it rip. Let me take this up to 65%. And I only need 1 pound of this, I think, before I blend it. Man, 0.02 ounces short of 1 pound. FML, that's all I can say. Oh, there we go. 4 more coffee beans. And now I'm going to blend this. So, what we're doing here is blending Brazil with Colombia. Why are we doing that? Because that's our signature house coffee. 50-50, Colombia, Brazil. Roasted to perfection in the holler shack deep in the back hills of Middle Tennessee by a chick out of Oregon who really likes coffee. That's what you're getting today. Yeah. All mixed up. Now, I no longer have a weird container problem, but I am going to look. How fast this fan is going. probably going to be more than my bucket can take. Going for a medium on this. See how that goes faster when I do littler amounts? That's what happens. Ah, it fit the bucket. Life is good. That's probably going to want to go up. We're getting near the line on that one. It's going fast, man. I have to remember this bag is a Columbia Dark, so if I forget nothing, that's what I cannot forget. I'll go look at my temperature. Straighten that out. Yep, time to go to. Okay. Yes, coffee. I wish I could scratch and sniff the screen. Ha ha ha! I actually saw your comments, even though you didn't put them on Telegram. I just happened to be walking by and you said something. The real issue is I'm across the shack and the screen's way over there. I wish there was a way to like beam comments to a separate screen. There probably is. Somebody knows how to do that, right? I hope I don't have to grind this Columbia. Do I need to grind this Columbia? Oh, thank goodness, no. Okay, good, because I already bagged it. That's 1 pound of Columbia bagged. And I'm ready to bag the rest of the Hollow Roast Dark. But we're getting to the point where I gotta pay attention. This one, to figure out when we're, like, I'm listening for first track. And I think I'm hearing it already, which is a little premature. It's just going fast. This is about the smallest roast I can do. Oh, there it is. For sure, first crack right here, 416 degrees. Yeah, heartily into first crack. I see smoke coming out the stack. Going to 425, and I'm going to hit stop. Some medium roast. Get this cooling fast. Yeah, perfect. Get the rest of the beans out. Yeah, it's a nice medium roast. Okay. Now the reason I want these to cool fast is I don't want them to over roast because I hate it when my medium ends up being a dark and then I got to redo the roast. Now I, in my silliness, did not queue up the Siegler. So now I'm going to queue up the Siegler. We're going to do Siegler next. I got too distracted by mixing beans. So get some Siegler in here and get that going. Oh, about to have a bean crisis. I'm almost out of, I'm on my last bag of the organic Columbia that I use. And when I went to reorder, they don't have any, which sounds bad, right? But really the issue isn't so much that as that, because they have them coming in like a week and a half. It's like I need 12 bags of coffee because you can fit 12 bags of coffee on a pallet. So I want 12. And I'm going to turn this up to 30, pour this in. And I need a decaf. I usually do Swiss water process from Peru. But I'm willing to do a nice organic Columbia. That's fine too. Let's bring this up to 50. No go? There we go. Okay, dry them. And then I need Brazil beans, I need Columbia beans, and I have some other ones I could get, but the Brazil market's been a little figgly because there were a bunch of news articles about how there were crop failures like this time last year. And so some of the bigger like producers or like coffee roasters bought up a bunch on spec. And then I don't think the damage was as bad as they said it was going to be. Well, here's something important. You take the lid off your green beans and you need to make sure the same lid with the label of what's in there goes back on. Anyway, so I didn't really have a lot of trouble getting Brazil. The price went up. And that was a bummer, but you know, that's what happens, right? Especially in this inflationary world, like shipping's gone up since I started this business. Beans have gone up, they've doubled. My beans have doubled in price since I started Hollow Roast, for sure. And so then I'm looking for, like, I want a specific Brazil. That's kind of important to me. And so I was trying to time it so I get Brazil, Colombia, and the decaf. That's it. I want 5 Colombia bags. And there are only 3 of the organic I want on here. I want 6 of the Brazil. They had that. And I wanted 1 of the decaf. And they had that. So she's like, well, I can put the order in now. We'll lock in the, like 5 of the new Colombia bags, organics that are coming in. You'll be good to go. So that's what we did. Okay, so I just did Siegler. Okay, now we write everything down, guys. What I now got going on is I made Hollow Roast House Blend, right? That's Hollow Roast Dark. So I'm going to say I'm currently packing Hollow Roast Dark. On the cooler is Ethiopia Medium. I am roasting Siegler. And my next one is going to be Costa Rica Siegler roast. So the Costa Rica, I gotta find. And while this is drying and not requiring me to hover, oh, and the good news is I have this plastic food grade barrel full of individual different bags of odds and ends. I'm almost out of the Costa Rica, so that's right there. That's cool. So we do Costa Rica next. It's queued up. We're looking good on the drying phase. And this is Siegler. I have to remind myself every time I walk back to the roaster when I have 4 things going on at one time because I forget. And then, like, occasionally I've been known to pull beans out too soon. I was like, oh, wait, that was supposed to be dark. That's why I started writing it down. Amazing how that works. So you can see it's not quite as robustly circulating. I'm actually going to go up to 45. We're going to start heating this up. I'm going to put it on 67%. We'll see how it goes. Oh, and my flashlight's still on my phone. Those of you who watched me do that are screaming at me by now. Okay, I got Ethiopia Medium, and does it need to be ground? Does Ethiopia Medium need to, drip? Okay. So guys, I don't grind as I go. What I do is I take the bag and I make the label so I can do all my grinding at one time because grinding makes a terrific mess. So if I get everything roasted for the day's orders, medium, Ethiopia, drip. If I get everything roasted for the day's orders, then I just do all the grinding at the end. Which is why sometimes when you order ground coffee, I miss the mail deadline with the ground coffee because it's going to go a little later. But not today. If I get done early enough, you know what I do? I'm going to drive to Lebanon, Tennessee, and I'm going to go swim laps because I'm feeling it. Okay, so that's bagged, and the rest can be boxed. I cannot box you in that box, so. I have a feeling I'm going to be drinking Ethiopia this week. Label it. So I'm going to go see our progress on temp. Okay, your Ethiopia medium. I will deal with you after roasting is done because your box is actually in my outdoor sink getting washed. Okay, what do we got here? It's time to go up to 80. Time to go down to 40. Excellent. Excellent. And I can move all, I'm really glad I moved to these like 55-gallon drum food grade things on wheels because it's easier to move the coffee around. I feel like I need to bag, oh, I need to bag Hollow Roast Dark. Okay. Let's do that. I feel like I have a lot more grinding to do today still. Oh, okay, so that one. Oh, I see. Okay. It's only 3 pounds today, so it's not too bad. One. It's like everything around here organizes in 3s, right? How's temperature? How's the air? 1,000, 2, 1,000. Let's go a little faster. 35 then. On the air. It's like the humidity beat back and everything goes faster in the roasting shack when it's less humid. That's a thing. Like in the winter, I have to completely change everything I'm doing. It gets so dry. Bagging the beans, bagging the beans. Woof, woof. Apparently I'm looking for some really good genetic ewes to add. We want to. Pascal actually sat down and said what he wants to do is sell or process Cloudy, who is a pretty robust ewe. So I mean, if you are looking to start a sheep flock of sheep or add to her, she would be a really good one, even though we don't know who her daddy is. All the daddies were good. Or we'll process her. If we're going to process her, we need to process her soon. And then we're going to get rid of all 3 that were born. So Rack and Rib can remain named Rack and Rib. Because they'll get processed, or if somebody wants Croytodens, because they're half St. Croix, half Katahdin, who are fairly robust, they can go for it. If you are looking for a ram that has good genetics, 100% St. Croix, then you can adopt pork chops. Not pork chop, lamb chop. Lamb chops. If not, we'll eat lamb chop, that's fine. We eat a lot of lamb around here. Okay. That gets marked off. That gets marked off. And I just have the Siegler. Okay. And we're up near 374. I feel the need to lurk because the moment when I flip it up to 100% is near. The time is nigh. So is it like cathartic to watch my roaster just roast? Just curious. It'd be even cooler if I had like an installed camera in here, which I could do. We're not there. Okay, so here we are not at the point. I have not smelled the smell. Okay, I just saw chaff. Chaff starting to come off. Now it's time. So that was at 394, 100%. Got to find my oven mitt. One thing I like to do while roasting is wander all over the shack with my oven mitt and leave it weird places. And my coffee rake. So what am I doing here? I'm doing a Siegler. Okay, good. And Ethiopia medium is gone. So is this pen. I'm just going to throw it in the garbage because it stopped working. first crack. Good. Okay, we're like literally in the Siegler territory at 465. I'm gonna stop it. Next up, we're going to do Costa Rica Siegler. Last roast of the day. Here's an example of one that's got some serious like heat velocity going in, and that's because this was a very hot roaster when I put those beans in, and there's not very many beans. So I don't want to see the temperature going backwards like that though. We're in the drying phase, it will be okay, but I want to achieve a balance between elements and beans. We're close. Okay, we're in the drying phase. Ooh, that is. See. Every one of these beans is shiny because that's what Siegler roast is. Woo! Smoky in here. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. It's crippling not to have my other two containers. Just throwing that out there. Okay, scoop up some Siegler and get it off the table. Soon, very soon. Okay, now this is like the little angel bean. It's not dark. It's gone. It goes on the floor and gets composted when I sweep. One trick I use when I'm out of containers, which is apparently what today is all about, this container becomes a container. Because I'm literally putting all of this coffee straight into bags. So. This thing's heavy. One day I will have a lighter. We'll have a way to pour out of my cooling table. It's not involve lifting up a heavy thing. There we go. Last roast, guys. Go up to 65 to see how that does. Meanwhile, over at the packing table, we're gonna get 5 pounds of Siegler, whole bean, packed up, boom. Oh no, I need more bags. Toby from DiscountMylarBags.com, I need more bags. Actually, I was gonna have you bring the rest of your boxes of Hollow Roast size bags to Self-Reliance Festival. Toby, if you're watching, which I'm sure you're not, because I'm going to need them this fall anyway, so I might as well just take them all home and give you money. I feel like then we can avoid UPS charges. Everybody wins. We also need to order more. I guess I better email you. It's on my list to email you. I'll email you today. I've got about 40 million emails to send. I'm going to check those temperatures, see how we're doing. Yep. Okay, we want 5 bags, right? That's what I said. 1, 2, 3. We need to open another bag of bags. Funny that we have bags of bags. Why do we have bags of bags? Why don't we just have bundles of bags? 5 bags of bags. Well, lots of plastic is involved here. Go check the temperature again. Airflow can be turned down. 225. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. 1.5 seconds is what we're looking at right now, so I'm not turning the heat up. Now, I know some of you be standing there with a stopwatch, right? Nope, not me. The funny thing is I do have a stopwatch, like giant clock on the wall I can run if I want to. It thinks it's tomorrow right now. I wonder what year that thing thinks it is. 77 in the roasting shack. 4. And 5th bag. All right. One, 1,000, 2, 1,000. That's still fine. Let's leave it there. What's going to happen is I'm going to be at 75 when it's time to let her rip it. And the final finishing of the thing with the stuff. At this point, my entire roasting shop is carpeted with random beans. For the record, they're like everywhere. It's kind of a slipping hazard at this point. I would like to get like some mushroom spores and maybe start growing mushroom spores in coffee grounds / beans, because right now I just kind of compost them in the yard, but feel like they could grow mushrooms. It'd be kind of cool. Ah, first crack. Probably started before then, but that's when I heard it. First crack. I think we're in second crack now. Second crack. Second crack. I think it's just done. Yep. All right, guys, that concludes the roasting session for today. Hopefully the person who wanted to check that out got something out of that. I'm sure there'll be more of these as we move into the fall. Make it a great weekend. How do I end this thing anyway, guys? I hit that button.
Yep.